So the Chicago Bears actually land Ben Johnson as their head coach. And I think for this Bears organization, this was definitely the best possible outcome heading into Caleb Williams' second year starting after year one. Not really going, I think, as many people had hoped. Caleb Williams had some ups, had some downs. I think he was pretty inconsistent when it came to his accuracy. And I think that in Ben Johnson, what you know that you get is a coordinator who took the Lions offense in 2021 that was a bottom 10 unit, 23rd in points scored per game. And then for 3 consecutive years, Ben Johnson makes the Lions offense a top 5 scoring unit. And so I think that if you are Ryan Poles, if you're making this decision, your hope is that what he did with Detroit, the way that he turned things around there, I think you're envisioning a similar thing happening here with Caleb Williams. And I think that with Caleb Williams, he does a lot of things well. He's very talented. He's very athletic. He has a great ability to escape the pocket. I do think at times he can do it more than he needs to and can lead to him taking more sacks than he really needs to just because he does bail out of the pocket. But the one thing you do get in Caleb Williams that Jared Goff doesn't have is that elite athleticism, which I think is one reason that when Caleb Williams was drafted, so many people thought he should go number 1. Now in hindsight, it's easy to say Jaden Daniels, maybe he should have gone number 1. And I think that if you could repick, maybe you would take Jaden Daniels just because you've already seen what he's been able to do. But I do think that Ben Johnson does have a lot to work with. The thing that I'm wondering about is, can Ben Johnson really do with Caleb Williams what he did with Jared Goff? And I think, looking at what happened with Goff, you see the lack of success in 2021, 2022, right when Ben Johnson comes in, finally things turn around. And I think that people just assume that the same thing's going to happen with Caleb Williams because he's a talented quarterback. I'm not so sure. I'm not saying that I think that this isn't going to work, but I'm not sold that no doubt Ben Johnson is going to turn Caleb Williams into a top-tier quarterback, that this Bears team is suddenly going to reach the level that I think lots of people thought before last season they would reach. And honestly, I thought this Bears team would be a lot better than they were in 2024. I thought Caleb Williams would have a very solid season. And in the end, it just didn't go quite as planned. And here's the thing that I think is different between the situation that Ben Johnson was in with Jared Goff and the situation that Ben Johnson is in now with Caleb Williams. When you look at their stats, when you compare 2021 Jared Goff, the year before Ben Johnson got to the Lions, and then you compare Caleb Williams in 2024, at the first look, their stats are somewhat similar. Jared Goff, 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, a 91.5 passer rating in 2021 with the Lions before Ben Johnson. And then Caleb Williams here, his year before Ben Johnson, his rookie season, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 87.8 passer rating. So those stats are pretty similar. Now here's the area where I think things are a little bit different. So here's some stats from Fantasy Points data, quarterbacks with a minimum of 250 dropbacks. Jared Goff, before Ben Johnson got there, was already a very accurate quarterback. He was 13th in catchable throw percentage at 77.1%. Number 1 in accuracy percentage, which is basically like perfectly placed balls, putting it exactly where it needs to be. Number 1. And then 9th in completion percentage over expected. So he was a top 10 quarterback in accuracy even before Ben Johnson took over in 2022. Caleb Williams has not been very accurate. 38th in 2024 in catchable throw percentage at 69%, 25th in accuracy percentage at 49.1%, and then 24th in completion percentage over expected in 2024. And so the reality was that Caleb Williams just was not a very accurate quarterback in 2024. He didn't have a lot of turnovers, which I think is a good thing. From a rookie, that's something you want to see. But when we compare Jared Goff before Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams before Ben Johnson, Goff was already a very highly accurate quarterback. And so that's where I guess I'm a little bit hesitant to say that no doubt Ben Johnson is going to turn this Bears offense around. Is there a good chance he does? Yes. Is this the best possible outcome, I think, for Caleb Williams and for this Bears offense? Yes. And so I do give the Bears credit for actually landing Ben Johnson. I think that you're putting Caleb Williams in the best possible position to succeed. But if there were a reason that this didn't work out, I think it would be that Ben Johnson is not getting this highly accurate quarterback. And I think the question that I really have, which I'm unsure of, is can Ben Johnson make Caleb Williams a highly accurate quarterback. Maybe the offense he brings in, the scheme, the way he schemes receivers open, maybe Caleb Williams is going to, I do think he's going to be much better in this system, no doubt, but maybe the way Ben Johnson runs things can allow Caleb Williams to sort of grow on what he did as a rookie. And you would assume Ben Johnson, considering he was so slow to take these head coaching jobs the past couple seasons, where last year he probably could have landed a job if he really wanted to, I don't think he would go into Chicago if he didn't think that he could turn Caleb Williams around. I think he was waiting for what he thought was a perfect situation. And so that's sort of what I'm waiting to see. And I think that we could see some good things from the Bears offense going into next year. But that's the one thing that is making me slightly unsure is, can Ben Johnson really make Caleb Williams an accurate quarterback? Because he didn't really have to do that with Jared Goff. Goff was already highly accurate, and then when Ben Johnson came in, he took what Jared Goff did very well, which is, playing in rhythm, playing in timing, and created just a very, very good offense, which also he had a top-tier offensive line, a top-tier backfield the past couple years. I'm not sure that the players around Caleb Williams, when it comes to the O-line and backfield, are the same as Detroit. So it may not happen year one. Maybe it takes a couple years, but I do think that it's going to be interesting to see what Ben Johnson can do with Caleb Williams, because I think last year the offense being run in Chicago just didn't really cut it. And so it's going to be something that's very interesting to watch going forward. And I did see Dan Orlovsky, he talked about Ben Johnson and how he, Caleb Williams isn't really the rhythm passing type quarterback like Jared Goff. And I guess my question is, can Ben Johnson turn Caleb Williams into that? I think it's possible, but it's something that I need to wait to see to be fully convinced that Ben Johnson is going to just completely turn everything around in Chicago. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you want more NFL content like this, feel free to subscribe. I put out multiple NFL videos per week. So if you're into that, feel free to subscribe down below. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.